Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Let's just dig right into it. Who's the best? Ryan Garcia, Shakur Stevenson, or Devin the Dream Haney? These are all young, up-and-coming guys. These are guys who've shown tremendous skill sets. And, we all want to know who's the best out of these guys. Who would win? Who's the future guy to carry the sport of boxing, to carry the torch? So let's just break down each and every fighter and kind of go over this. When you look at Ryan Garcia is a very talented special fighter. He shows a lot of power. He's 18-0 with 15 knockouts. He's only 20 years old, and he's 5'10" with a 70-inch reach. And a lot of people say, oh, Ryan Garcia has a lot of flaws. He's not this, he's not that. He's 20 years old. He's not supposed to be a complete project. Ryan Garcia still has so much room and time to grow, and yet he's 5'10" with a 70-inch reach, and he's already 18-0 with 15 knockouts. Ryan Garcia could be a future middleweight champion of the world. He could conquer many divisions. He's going to be a problem for years to come because he has, boxing skills, and now he's training with Eddie and Chepo Reynoso. Ryan Garcia is being tutored by guys who know the sport of boxing, who's worked with world champions, and Ryan Garcia has already shown power and boxing ability. He has tremendous reach and height, so he's going to be a multiple division world champion eventually one day. He's a very special young kid. And then you look at a guy like Shakur Stevenson, who's coming off from a spectacular victory. He's 12-0 with 7 knockouts. He's 22 years old. He's a southpaw. He's 5'8" with a 68-inch reach, and his reach and height means that he can be a multiple division world champion. He's very young, and the fact that he has already shown an amazing, an elite level type skill set at this young age, and he's still 22 years old. He's still growing. He's still developing. He's going to be a problem for years to come, because when you look at Shakur Stevenson, he's ready to take on the biggest and best challenges, such as an Oscar Valdez. That's going to be a special fight. That's going to be a hell of a fight. It is going to determine the trajectory of his career over the next few years, because if Shakur Stevenson could get an Oscar Valdez and could potentially beat an Oscar Valdez, then that's going to catapult him up in the rankings and almost make him a pound-for-pound fighter to be able to do this in such a short amount of time at such a young age, at such an early age, become a world champion against an undefeated fighter who has a lot of pop and power. That would be a tremendous and huge task for Shakur Stevenson. And then you look at the other end, you look at Devin the Dream Haney, who's a special fighter in his own right. Devin the Dream Haney is 22 years old with 14 knockouts. Devin the Dream Haney is 22 years old. He's an orthodox fighter. He's 5'8" and has a 71-inch reach. So similar to Shakur Stevens, with his dimensions, except for he's orthodox, not southpaw, but he's only 20 years old, and he's shown just as much, if not more, boxing ability than Shakur Stevenson. So at the end of the day, when you look at a guy like Devin Haney, who's looking to challenge, looking to get in line for a shot at Vasyl Lomachenko through the mandatory route, this is going to be an incredible situation. You have guys like this young of an age wanting to challenge the best in the business for world titles, and these could possibly be competitive fights, if not fights where they may have a chance to win because of these guys' tremendous skill set. These guys aren't brawlers. These guys aren't coming in with no understanding of how to fight the game. All of these guys have beat veteran level fighters, tested fighters. They haven't beat elite level opponents, but they beat very good veteran opponents, and they've passed literally every single test that's been put in front of them. So when you have to break it down and say who's the best out of this crop of fighters, what you realize is, and a few things you have to understand, is who has the best resume, who's shown the most in these fights. And I think it's all pretty much even with all of these guys. I think Shakur and Devin Haney's fought, a little bit more veteran savvy fighters. But at the end of the day, I think it's too early to tell. I think all of these guys are on a similar playing field, but I think Shakur and Devin Haney have shown more of a skill set than, Ryan Garcia. But I think Ryan Garcia has shown more power than Haney and Stevenson. So I think it's too early to tell. I think these guys are still developing, being only 20 and 22 years old. We need to see the next step up fight to determine which guy is further ahead and which guy should be considered the best at this point. But once again, Unbiased, as always, is the IBFP. Please share, like, and you must absolutely subscribe.